The story begins with a girl standing atop a building, tears streaming down her face. She gazes down at the moving vehicles below with a blank expression. Her voice trembles as she whispers, "Dad, I'm sorry," then closes her eyes. The next scene reveals only her shoes left behind on the rooftop. The scene shifts to a news channel where a female reporter is covering the breaking news. A middle school girl, she reports, was driven to an extreme decision due to the horrifying actions of fellow students. The report unveils that the girl was subjected to unbearable torment. Students had forced a dog collar around her neck, made her eat burning cigarette butts, and blackmailed her with nude photos to silence the abuse. These revelations sparked public outrage. As the news spread, it was further revealed that the girl's father was none other than Vice Chairman Lee Myeong-jun of the Hyeondo Group, intensifying the public reaction. In a press conference, standing before a crowd of reporters, Vice Chairman Lee made a shocking statement. "I will forgive the students who bullied my daughter," he said, leaving everyone stunned. He continued, "Of course, my daughter's tragic decision is devastating. But because the perpetrators are still so young, I believe it is right as a senior member of society to show compassion." Lee ended his speech by urging leniency for the students. Reporters immediately bombarded him with questions. "Was this agreed upon by your family?" one asked. Another added, "Isn't that too lenient considering the gravity of the crime?" Without replying, Lee turned and left with his bodyguards. The press conference was streamed live on YouTube, and the live chat was flooded with emotional reactions. One comment read, "His daughter suffered so much. Is that really a father?" A woman wrote, "As a mother with a daughter, I can't understand this at all." Others chimed in, "Yoon's compassion is nonsense, and those delinquents are so bold." Another reply added, "Seriously, they dared to mess with a chaebol's daughter." Back at his home, Lee sat on a couch staring out at the glowing city through glass windows, reading the comments on the live broadcast. His thoughts turned bitter. "People speak without knowing anything. They claim she wasn't my biological daughter or that she was disowned. They have no idea." With trembling hands, he grabbed the wine bottle beside him and shattered it barehanded. Rage filled his face, eyes wide, jaw clenched, his mind burned with emotion. "I wasn't lenient because I forgave them," he thought. "It's because I never intended to use that soft juvenile law. I didn't want them punished that way." Memories of his daughter Hyena overwhelmed him. "I realized too late the reason you couldn't tell me about the bullying. Why you tried to endure everything alone. It's because you always thought of others first." He wept. "I should have raised you to be a little more selfish." Tears streamed down his cheeks. "Hyena, this worthless father promises you, those who made you suffer, I'll make them pay." Just then his secretary entered the room. "Vice Chairman," he said, "I've brought the child you mentioned." Lee turned and addressed the girl. "Have you adjusted to life here in South Korea?" he asked. "Yes, stepfather," she replied with a smile. "Thanks to your care, I'm living well." "I'm glad to hear that," Lee said. The secretary looked at the girl silently, concern in his eyes. Lee turned toward her with a mischievous glint and said, "It's time you start preparing for school." The secretary's expression shifted to shock. Karma's red eyes widened with an unnatural smile. Her presence felt unsettling. "Even someone like me can attend school?" she asked her stepfather, her tone laced with dark amusement. The secretary interjected, alarmed. "That won't do, Vice Chairman." "Why not?" Lee responded. "Isn't this a free democratic country?" Karma looked at the secretary who was about to speak, but Lee stopped him. "No matter what you say, I'll make sure she attends school. It'll take about a year of groundwork." Approaching Karma, he said gently, "Karma, you should start getting used to this place. For example, shouldn't you try making some friends?" Karma smiled amused. "Don't beat around the bush, just say it directly." With a sinister grin she added, "Not friends, playthings." "Isn't that what you meant?" Lee said nothing, just gazed at her. The scene shifts to Unro High School. Late May the following year, three girls stand in a classroom. One of them with short hair and a menacing look sneers at another girl. "Our cute Junchi," she says mockingly, "you need to eat the snack your uni gave you." Jun, wearing glasses, is in tears. The short-haired girl Eun-jin presses further. "Why aren't you gulping it down? It's protein-rich special milk." She draws closer, grinning. "I see, it's because it's missing protein flakes, right?" She snips Jun's hair with scissors. "Eat it, it'll be tasty." Jun protests, but it's been expired for over a month. As she looks at the milk carton, her stomach turns and she begins to gag. "Hey, why are you gagging before even drinking?" Eun-jin mocks. Jun pleads, "This isn't right. Expired milk is dangerous." "Expired?" Eun-jin scoffs. "Don't you know how cheese is made? This isn't expired, it's aged." Her eyes glint with cruel delight. "I just want to feed you good things. When will you understand this?" Uni's feelings. Then with a chilling voice she threatens, "Will you understand if I cut you with scissors?" Terrified, Jun agrees to drink. Other students in the class watch in silence, afraid. One whispers to her seatmate, "They're insane. Should we tell the teacher?" "Don't." her friend warns, that girl Eun-jin, she killed a chaebol's daughter and got away with it. It's revealed that Eun-jin, age 15, is the daughter of Vice Chairman Lee Myeong-jun, charged as perpetrator A in school violence case and accused of aggravated assault. Is that even possible? Her friend asks. If you don't believe me, ask the kids from Seo Middle School. The other replies, you didn't know until now. I thought she acted like this because of her older brother. Another girl sitting in the front row listens as she writes notes. She's referred to as the class president. Before she can respond, a voice interrupts the class. You all get so rowdy when teachers are gone. I could hear the noise from the teacher's office. The teacher instructs everyone to sit down. Eun-jin threatens Jun. If she say any word to teacher, she will spread her nude photos everywhere. She tells her friends to hide that expired milk. Teacher continues, I have an announcement. We have a new transfer student. It's Karma, as this child is a defector. The teacher says, please take good care of her. The class murmurs in shock upon hearing she's from North Korea. The teacher asks Karma to introduce herself. With a bright smile she says, hello, I'm Yoon, Karma from North Korea. Please take care of me. The scene transitions to Lee's residence. Chief Beck, his secretary, pleads, Vice Chairman, it's not too late. Please reconsider. Sending her back to the North Korean Juvenile Detention Center was seriously discussed. If you adopt such a child, it will create problems. Lee interrupts. Chief Beck, in your eyes, does it look like I adopted a daughter? Beck nods hesitantly. Lee stares at him. I didn't adopt a daughter. I brought in a hunting dog. Beck is visibly disturbed. His memory flashes to Karma's past. She defected alone in 2018 at age 13, found by patrols at the Han River. Due to biological experiments by North Korean authorities, she suffered frontal lobe damage. Experts diagnosed her as a psychopath incapable of feeling pain or shame. The bloodstains on her defection clothes were matched to 13 victims via DNA analysis. Legal hypnosis revealed she had committed familial homicide and numerous murders. Being underage, she was sent to juvenile detention for 2 years. Despite rehabilitation, her sadistic tendencies and superhuman physical abilities remained beyond comprehension. The Seoul Juvenile Protection Review Board declared her a severe case and she was placed under supervised probation post-release. Back in the classroom, Eun-jin smirks at Karma and whispers to her friends, an interesting girl has arrived. In another classroom, a boy nudged his friend and told him it wasn't the time to play phone games. He leaned closer and mentioned that a transfer student, a defector, had joined the girls' class. Immediately the boys rushed toward that classroom, eager to catch a glimpse of the new girl as rumors of her beauty had already spread. Gathering outside the classroom, the boys stared through the windows, stunned by Karma's appearance. A teacher, noticing them loitering and peeking in, scolded them harshly and told them to return to their seats. Inside the classroom, the two girls who had previously spoken to Karma approached her once again. One of them commented that Karma's North Korean accent hadn't been noticeable at all during her self-introduction. The other girl added that the defectors she had seen on YouTube always had strong accents and asked if Karma had practiced speaking South Korean. Karma responded that she had practiced diligently by watching K-dramas. Curious, one of them asked if Karma could speak in a North Korean accent just once for them. Karma hesitated for a moment, then adjusted her tone and said in a firm North Korean dialect, hello classmates of South Korea. I'm Yoon, Karma from North Korea. The girls giggled, finding her performance cute and funny. Jun, who sat beside Karma, watched the whole interaction. She thought to herself that the atmosphere was noisy because of the transfer student sitting next to her. Still, if the vibe stayed like this, maybe she could blend in during break time. Deep down, she felt a pang of jealousy. She wished she could laugh freely like that, without worries, or better yet, be as pretty and popular as the new girl. From the back of the class, Eun-jin, watching everyone gather around Karma, began walking toward her desk. Her presence caused an immediate shift in the air. Even Jun stiffened in fear. Eun-jin pulled a chair close to Karma and sat down, then gave her a half-smile and welcomed her to South Korea. She complimented her looks, likening her to a delicate pretty boy, and said she wanted to become close friends with her. Then she casually invited Karma to join her group. Karma was startled by the invitation. Even Jun thought to herself how strange it was that the transfer student was being approached by someone like Eun-jin. Bullies had their own hierarchies, so why did it have to be that psycho? Jun glanced at Karma, who looked so naive. She wondered whether Karma would be okay. Meanwhile, Karma recognized Eun-jin. She remembered that this girl was the daughter of the president of Noongun Trading Company and the first target introduced to her by Chief Beck. She recalled the girl's image from the projector and thought to herself how nasty she looked. Chief Beck had once briefed them, stating that among Eun-jin's past victims, Hyena had suffered the most. He had mentioned diary entries detailing how Eun-jin frequently kicked her in the abdomen. He further revealed that Eun-jin had invented the infamous dog leash bullying method. Although her involvement was the least severe compared to other perpetrators, she had still been actively malicious. He informed Vice Chairman Lee that Eun-jin currently attended Unro High School, the only one among the 4 selected schools located in Seoul. He said that arrangements had been made so Karma would be placed in the same class as Eun-jin. Given Eun-jin's curious personality, he believed she would eventually approach Karma. Karma had nodded during the briefing and with a mischievous smile asked if she should cover Eun-jin's body in bruises and cuts. When she did, Lee, surprised by her bluntness, stepped forward and told her that wasn't the plan. He stressed that there was something much more important to do first. He told her that if Eun-jin approached, her response must follow a specific strategy. Back in the classroom, Karma agreed to Eun-jin's offer to join the group. Eun-jin, visibly pleased and surprised, threw her arm around Karma in a side hug and said they would become good friends. One of her friends teased that Eun-jin was acting cute again, to which Eun-jin replied that it was because Karma was just so lovable. Then, looking at Jun, she asked if Karma had introduced herself to Jun, who sat beside her. Karma replied that they had exchanged a few words. Jun tensed up, unsure of what Eun-jin would do next. Eun-jin glanced at Jun with a mocking expression. She turned to Karma and suggested they play a fun game so that Karma could get closer to their Jun with a snap of her fingers. One of Eun-jin's friends sneaked behind Jun and suddenly covered her face with a plastic bag, cutting off her airflow. Karma, shocked, demanded to know what was happening. Eun-jin, grinning wickedly, called it a volunteer activity for a friend with disabilities. She explained to Karma that Jun could barely see from one eye and had poor depth perception. According to her, Jun had bumped into her desk and dropped her iPhone, not that it was scratched, thankfully. She argued mockingly that for Jun's own safety they were training her to navigate without vision. Eun-jin leaned in and whispered to Jun that every time she hit something she would be hit once. Then she shoved Jun forward to walk blindfolded. Jun, terrified, tried to move without hitting anything, but her leg caught on a desk. Immediately Eun-jin kicked her in the back, sending her to the floor. Another one of her friends joined in and kicked Jun in the face, while another recorded the entire scene, laughing about how funny her falling pose looked. Jun began crying, her tears mixed with the pain and humiliation she endured in front of the entire class. The other students watched silently, too frightened to intervene. One of Eun-jin's friends asked why she had hit Jun again, and Eun-jin replied that Jun had hit the desk when she fell. Then she pulled Jun up by the collar and turned to Karma, suggesting that they both hit Jun together. According to her, it would help Jun improve her spatial awareness. She even added that they could toss her into the boys' bathroom during lunch. Just as Karma was watching this unfold, the class president began to rise from her seat to intervene, but Karma moved faster. She stepped in front of Eun-jin and sternly told her to stop. She asked her what she thought she was doing tormenting a defenseless classmate. Even a 5-year-old, she said, would know that bullying is wrong. The class fell silent in shock. Karma continued asking the group what they were doing as grown students and demanded that they release Jun and apologize to her. Jun, gasping for air, tried to stop Karma from interfering but couldn't form her words due to fear. Karma looked Eun-jin in the eyes and repeated her demand, let go of Jun and apologize. Eun-jin's expression changed to rage. She shoved Jun aside and moved closer to Karma. She reminded her mockingly that she was the queen of this class and Karma had 2 choices, fit in or get out. Then she asked if Karma wanted to fight. Karma, taken aback, warned her that if she kept this up, she would call the teacher. Eun-jin laughed sarcastically, noting that in North Korea, if someone disobeyed a teacher, they'd be executed. But what about Karma? Then, without warning, Eun-jin kicked Karma hard in the abdomen. At that moment, Karma remembered what her stepfather had told her: no matter what happens, never hit first. She had asked him why, since she planned to beat them all anyway. Did it really matter who struck first? Lee had replied that it absolutely did. He said Karma would find it boring to end things too quickly with her targets. The core of the plan, he explained, was to create an environment where they could continuously torment Eun-jin. That environment had already been established. All they needed now was a pretext to send her there. He emphasized that Karma had to appear as the innocent victim of school violence. When Eun-jin approached, she had to act kind and non-violent in the face of injustice. The pretext had to always be on their side. Karma had asked him what she should do if she truly couldn't stand it and wanted to fight back. Lee had answered, just take 1 hit first in front of everyone, after that, do as you please. Back in the present, Karma clutched her stomach, smiled coldly, and looked up at Eun-jin. You hit me, she said softly, right in the stomach. Eun-jin looked into Karma's eyes and sneered. What are you saying? Before Karma could respond, a teacher interrupted them. Change into your gym clothes quickly, he instructed. Teacher Minyoung's training schedule has changed, so the timetable has been adjusted. Hurry up and get ready. Eun-jin, upon hearing this, grew frustrated. She muttered to her friend, the gym performance test is today. Her friend replied, why do they handle things so poorly? Karma, however, recalled what her stepfather had told her. She had to hold back for at least a week. The key to her plan was to make her appear as a victim, and he had strictly warned her, if you mess this up due to your impulse, I won't forgive you, but it shouldn't be hard for you since you can't feel pain given your condition. Yet Karma was still seething from Eun-jin's actions. Before leaving, Eun-jin leaned toward Karma and with an intimidating smile threatened, I'll spoil you to death, Uni. Karma, unfazed, said nothing in response. Later, Eun-jin was found smoking a cigarette in a secluded spot, chatting with someone. Smoking secretly during gym class is the best, she said, her voice smug. She turned to Jun, who was kneeling on the ground. Eun-jin sat on her and she continued, you must have felt bad about getting kicked for your mistake today, right? I'm sorry, but I'll let you smoke a free cigarette to make up for it. Jun began to cough from the smoke, struggling to breathe, as Eun-jin's friends lit their own cigarettes, adding to the haze. The group continued to chat, when suddenly footsteps approached. Eun-jin's friend, recognizing the sound, tensed. Someone's coming, she whispered. The group quickly extinguished their cigarettes. What the hell? Did we get caught? Eun-jin asked, her voice laced with anxiety. Before they could react, a figure appeared in front of them. It was the class president. Eun-jin, seeing her, relaxed slightly. You scared me, class president, she said, trying to sound nonchalant. The class president stared at them, her eyes cold. Cut it out, she said sternly. Jun, relieved, sighed. But Eun-jin couldn't help but ask, are you here to use your authority as class president to stop us? The class president shot her a piercing look. What? Did I sound too smart? She replied, her tone dry. Jun began to cry silently, whispering, don't do it, class president. Not because of someone like me. To her surprise, the class president, Moon Yejin, took a cigarette from their group and lit it. The sight stunned Jun. Eun-jin couldn't hide her shock. I thought you quit smoking, she said. Referring to Yejin, Yejin removed her glasses, an intense discomfort visible on her face. Do you think I can stop smoking after seeing you guys? She snapped. Be a bit more considerate. It hasn't even been a year since we drove a kid to her death. You crazy girls, she added, her voice laced with bitterness. The group was stunned. We just got to know Moon Yejin, 16 years old, was the daughter of Vice Chairman Lee Myeong-jun and had been involved in a school violence case. She was charged with aggravated assault as a perpetrator. Stop bringing up that damn Lee hyena story, Eun-jin shouted, frustrated. Why do you have to bring it up now? Shit, it's such bad luck. Jun thought to herself, why is the class president with Eun-jin's gang? Yejin, with an irritated expression, snapped, rumors about that girl are already spreading in our class, you crazy girls. Jin's friend shouted, who spread those rumors? I'll cut their tongue off. Yejin's glare froze her. I said we need to lay low, she warned, and you want to cut off their tongues. Should I just cut off yours instead? The friend flinched, terrified. Eun-jin, frustrated, asked, why make the mood so tense? Yejin sneered, listen carefully, you idiots, we're high schoolers now. Are you planning to go to college? Or do you think you can keep being brainless idiots forever without any plan for the future? This world isn't just full of idiots like Hyena's dad, she said, her words dripping with disdain. She laughed pathetically, taking a drag of her cigarette. So if you want to keep doing stupid things, don't get me involved. Eun-jin was getting increasingly frustrated. You're lecturing me again, she thought. You've barely acknowledged us since we entered high school, pretending to be so upright, sitting in the back seat, making me the bad guy while you do nothing. You're worse than me when no one's around. She couldn't help but think, she's such a disgusting woman. Yejin called Eun-jin's name, her voice sharp. Why are you staring at me? She threatened. You're making me want to kill you. Eun-jin, scared, quickly apologized. Yejin, stepping closer to Jun, sneered, and you girls, because you keep bullying her, it's hard for me to hold back. With a malicious smile, Yejin got even closer to Jun, her tone cold. You know, even beating up these damn girls has its downsides, right? What can you do? Life is painful, isn't it? She continued by stepping on her bare hand. Jun, her voice shaky, begged, please remove your foot. But Yejin ignored her pleas. stepping harder on her hand. The pain from Yejin's foot made Jun unable to kneel properly. Eun-jin, who had been sitting on her, suddenly fell down. She got frustrated and kicked Jun in the face. Yejin, who had been silently watching, looked shocked. "What are you doing?" she asked. Eun-jin sneered. "Just go crazy, idiots. Stop the bullshit and go to class." She put her glasses back on and turned to leave. "It's your turn for the performance evaluation." "Eun-jin," she said. "Don't come out immediately, wait a bit after I leave, you all have that much sense, right?" Eun-jin was frustrated by Yejin's words, but Yejin with a wicked grin reminded her, "As I told you, lay low, but the transfer student, she needs to be dealt with a bit. Seeing her act out like that pisses me off." She walked away, leaving a tense silence in the air. Karma stood in front of the teacher, who looked at her uniform and said, "You don't have gym clothes since you just transferred. You should have borrowed some from someone in another class. But I guess you don't know anyone yet." Karma smiled and told him, "It's okay. I can do it in my uniform." The teacher hesitated. "This counts for grades," he said. "But I'll grade you even though you're in uniform." Karma thanked him, and he instructed the other students to return the soccer balls if they were done and wait for their turn. A girl from Karma's class, noticing her standing in front of the balls, encouraged her to fight. She placed the balls in front of Karma, and she went and sat with her friend. "Will Karma be okay in her uniform?" one of her friends nervously asked. She looked so delicate in front of the ball. Eun-jin and her gang, who were seated nearby, overheard and sneered. "Why don't you just kiss her then?" Eun-jin said sarcastically. While Eun-jin began to think, Yejin observed her quietly. Eun-jin had already made up her mind. She didn't need anyone to tell her. She was ready for a new toy. She was tired of playing with Jun. Tormenting her only made Eun-jin feel low class. An evil grin spread across her face as she thought to herself, "If I'm going to keep a dog, she should be worth training." Her gaze locked onto her next target. "Look at that. She's perfect. She has just the right amount of fight. And since she's a defector, she has no connections and is an easy target. Above all, she's skinny and weak." Karma, without saying a word, kicked the ball with remarkable force, sending it into the net. The students, including Eun-jin and Yejin, were stunned. Karma continued to kick the remaining balls with even greater strength, each one finding its way into the goal. The goalkeeper, intimidated by her power, could barely keep up. One ball, ricocheting off the iron pole of the net, flew straight toward Eun-jin's group, narrowly missing her friend's face. Her friend shrieked, frightened by Karma's menacing glare. Eun-jin, seething with anger, shouted, "That arrogant damn Karma, challenging me." With an evil grin, she muttered to herself, "You're dead after gym class." After gym class, everyone returned to the classroom and Karma walked in. Eun-jin mockingly asked, "You aimed that ball at us, didn't you?" Karma remained silent and Eun-jin pressed, "You must have been itching to do it. Do you think I'll be scared just because you showed off your strength?" Karma didn't respond. "You're desperately trying to avoid a beating by showing off, huh?" Eun-jin threatened as she approached Karma, her voice dripping with menace. "Do you know who my brother is?" Karma, still silent, simply stared at her. Eun-jin, frustrated, added, "Kick me like you did during gym class." Karma smiled and replied, "I can't do that." Eun-jin was taken aback. "What?" she asked, confused. Karma's sarcasm was sharp. "Because your head isn't on the ground yet. How can I kick it like a soccer ball?" she said, her words cutting through the tension. Eun-jin froze, shocked by Karma's response. Even her gang was startled by the calmness and confidence in Karma's words. "You must be really scared," Karma taunted, "bringing a bunch of people with you. Talking about your brother like anyone cares. Trying so hard to act cool." Eun-jin, frustrated, lunged at Karma. Her hand raised to slap her, but Karma, with a quick motion, landed a powerful blow to her face, sending her stumbling back. Blood started to spill from Eun-jin's nose. Her friend gasped in shock. As Eun-jin collapsed to the floor, Yejin, who had been watching silently, was equally shocked. The room was filled with gasps and whispers. As Karma stood over the fallen Eun-jin, bloodied and crying, stared up at Karma. Terrified, Karma thought to herself, "I'm sorry, stepfather. What can I do? It's my nature." As she looked down at Eun-jin, she whispered, "Now the ball is finally on the ground." Karma began stepping on Yeonjin's face and coldly asked, "Didn't you say to kick you? Then I'll do just that." She pressed her foot harder into Yeonjin's face, her expression turning eerily twisted. "I heard it's South Korean etiquette to follow instructions," She added with a creepy grin, so I won't hesitate. She leaned closer and whispered, how should I kick you? Should I curve it nicely, or go for the back of your head with a heel kick? Eun-jin was terrified by her words. Meanwhile, one of Yeonjun's friends, noticing that Karma was focused entirely on her victim, seized the chance. She picked up a chair and rushed to attack Karma, but Karma effortlessly dodged the blow, letting the girl fall to the ground. Looking down at her, Karma mocked, what are you doing dancing ballet? The girl froze at Karma's words. Karma immediately grabbed her by the hair and asked menacingly, loyalty is nice, but wait for your turn. I'll make sure you get it. So what's the rush? Then with a chilling tone, Karma asked, you seem eager to die first. Should I grant your wish? She began tying the girl's hands behind her back with a rope. The onlookers, frozen in place, were gripped with fear. Dragging the girl by her hair, Karma muttered, you tried to hit me with a chair, right? That's not how desks and chairs are used. She slammed the girl's head against the desk repeatedly. Blood began dripping from her face. The students watching were stunned into silence. Another one of Yeonjun's friends, a black-haired girl, began trembling with fear. Even Yeonjun, who had been calm until now, was frightened and ran to call a teacher. Karma delivered one last powerful kick, sending the girl crashing into another desk. The black-haired girl gasped as Karma turned toward her. Karma gave her a chilling smile. Now it's our princess's turn, she said. Terrified, the girl pleaded, I didn't do anything. Karma narrowed her eyes. Didn't do anything? Do you think I'm blind? I saw your annoying little faces behind my back. Irritated, she barked, stop being annoying and get over here. The girl recoiled in fear. Karma added, not coming. Fine, I'll come to you. The girl backed away in terror, stumbling over her own shoe and falling to the ground. Karma tilted her head in mock sympathy. Why are South Korean girls so weak in their lower bodies? She mocked. The girl spotted a knife lying nearby and grabbed it, holding it shakily in front of her. Don't come closer, I'll slash you, she threatened. Karma, unfazed, stepped closer. The girl in a panic lunged at her, but Karma dodged every attack with terrifying ease. Then she seized the girl's wrist, flung her to the ground, and disarmed her. As the knife clattered to the floor, the girl cried out in pain. Karma had yanked her up by her hair again. South Korean girls are so dramatic, Karma said coldly. You're talking about dying already. Don't worry, I've killed before. People don't die that easily. The girl trembled uncontrollably. Without warning, Karma kicked her in the back, sending her crashing into a row of student lockers. Then she delivered another vicious kick to the back of her head. Her head got lodged inside one of the lockers with a sickening sound. The entire class gasped in horror. Screams broke out. Someone yelled, call an ambulance. Where's the class president? Another girl cried out, isn't she a complete psychopath? What kind of person transferred here? Hearing this, Karma's expression darkened. Shut up, she roared, spinning around to face them. Listen, classmates, I didn't do this to be praised or anything, but wouldn't I be sad if you didn't appreciate me? She pointed at Yeonjun's gang and said with a sinister smile, look at them, troublemakers who ruined the class atmosphere. Karma took care of them for all you scared little weaklings. Shouldn't you be thankful? Jun, although frightened, couldn't help but smirk with satisfaction. She looked at Eun-jin and said with sarcastic glee, isn't that right? Eun-jin weakly raised her head. Karma walked over and scoffed, how long are you going to play dead? Did you see a bear or something? If you've got any conscience left, get up, she added coldly. The one who picks a fight and the one who gets beaten are different. Eun-jin, frustrated and skeptical, glared up at her. Karma remarked, strangely enough, your underlings got beaten up even more than you. Traditionally, when a gang loses, the leader takes responsibility and should be executed, right? She looked around but couldn't find Eun-jin at her desk. Where did she go? Karma muttered. Eun-jin had started crawling toward the classroom door. She shouted, I need to call my brother. That crazy Karma is trying to kill me. She reached for the door, panicked, yelling, why is the back door still locked? Suddenly, Karma came charging in and delivered a brutal kick to Yeonjun's back. The door fell to the ground along with her. Karma stood over her in a composed pose, then climbed on top and grabbed her by the collar. You asked me if I could fight, right? She sneered. What do you think now? She then added menacingly, answer me after I beat the hell out of you. As Eun-jin struggled, Karma began pounding her with relentless punches. Those walking in the corridor stopped in horror, frozen by the violence. Meanwhile, in his office, Vice Chairman Lee read through Karma's psychological evaluation report. It concluded that according to Dr. Kern and Dr. Shun's classification, Karma fell under the category of an explosive psychopath. Like other pleasure-seeking killers, she craved intense stimuli, red blood, and sharp screams, and among those stimuli there was one that excited her the most. Back in the classroom, Eun-jin lay unconscious, her face covered in blood. Karma, looking down at her, let out a laugh. She looks beautiful now, she murmured. Just then Yeonjun returned with the teacher. Both stood frozen at the brutal scene. In the office, Chief Beck burst in without knocking. Vice Chairman, he called out. Before he could speak further, Lee asked calmly, you rushed in without Knocking, that means karma must have caused some trouble. Chief Beck was taken aback by how accurately Lee predicted it. He said at least 1 week of karma pretending to be a victim. That was supposed to be the first step of the plan, wasn't it? Beck continued, clearly worried. Honestly, I didn't expect her to last 2 days, let alone a week. I got a call from the school before second period was even over. Looking more agitated, he asked, how should we handle this? If we're doing this, it has to go according to plan. We can't let it start falling apart already. Honestly, didn't you expect this? What are you thinking? Lee remained silent for a moment, then replied, I guess I got impatient. Seeing those kids suffer, I wanted to see it sooner. Looking straight into Beck's eyes, he added, I couldn't wait any longer. Beck was stunned by Lee's honesty. Lee continued, what's done is done, Chief Beck. Let's focus on the present. What exactly is the situation now? The scene returned to the classroom where Karma was being escorted away by the teacher. Yejin, her eyes sharp with suspicion, locked her gaze on Karma. Karma turned and looked back at her, laughing wickedly.
Minimum, minimum sloth, minimum, minimum stress. That's the best, massive